Good evening to you, and thanks so much for joining us tonight at 6:30. A pretty chilly day across northern Michigan. One of those days where I woke up, went to take my dog out, and I kind of had to check the calendar. I'm like, it certainly doesn't feel like July out there. It was in the 50s when I was up this morning. It's warmed up a little bit into the 60s, but Joe, are we going to see more like 70s and 80s again pretty soon here?
Yeah, next week we're going to get right back into some summer. So if you like the cooler, less humid air, that's in place tonight. We'll see a pretty nice day tomorrow too. It'll be a little warmer though tomorrow than today. But yeah, a lot of 40s tonight, Maya. So maybe leave the window cracked a little bit tonight.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, no need for the fan or AC. Not tonight anyway. But next week we are going to gradually see the heat building once again. We'll take a look at that. And it looks pretty quiet tomorrow, but as we get into Saturday, of course, that's the start of the weekend, might run into a little rain. We'll talk about all that in a few minutes.
All right, thank you so much, Joe. But let's start off right now with our top story of the night. ICE arrests are making news headlines all across the country, but one tonight hits a little closer to home. An arrest in northern Michigan that ICE claims may have ties to a terrorist organization. Mark Gillette has all the details.
ICE arrested 4 men in Traverse City on the 4th of July, one of whom they claim may have ties to a foreign terrorist organization. The Detroit office of ICE announced that Kleber Ciso Balza, a 25-year-old illegal alien, was one of those arrested. They say he's from Venezuela, has an active arrest warrant out of Virginia for possession of burglary tools, and a pending larceny charge out of Florida. They also say he's suspected of having ties to the Tren de Aragua organization. ICE special agent in charge, Jared Murphy, claiming, quote, Tren de Aragua is known to engage in sex trafficking, debt bondage, drug trafficking, and murder to advance their interests, end quote. But no details were released about Ciso Balza's possible ties to the organization or possible activities he may have been involved with. ICE says Ciso Balza and the other 3 men taken into custody were all in the country illegally. In a statement, ICE Aero Detroit Acting Field Office Director Kevin Raycraft explaining, quote, our teams are working daily to remove criminal aliens and immigration violators from our communities across Michigan and Ohio, end quote. ICE has not released any more details about what led them to Ciso Balza or to Traverse City, how the arrests were made, or where he and the other men were taken, but did state, quote, we're thankful to have the assistance of our TSA, federal air marshals, and IRS partners in executing this important mission, end quote.
That was Mark Gillette reporting, and we did reach out to ICE and other organizations involved, but they are not sharing any more information at this time. We will continue to ask for more and update you as the case moves forward. Well, the Marine Trades Institute in Cedarville is in the beginning stages of construction on a new building for the Marine Technology School. Right now, students in the Comprehensive Career Boat Building Program and the Marine Service Technology Program are all jam-packed into one building. UpNorthLive's Mary Jane Glynn was able to take a tour of the school and explains what the expansion could mean for both programs.
The Great Lakes Boat Building School started out 20 years ago. Now we are rebranded to the Marine Trades Institute. We're expanding. We want to double our enrollment, so we have to double our footprint. Behind me is where the new Marine Trades School, Marine Technology School is going to be.
Right now, students from the Marine Service Technology Program are working in a garage that is about 800 square feet. The goal of this project is to give these students the resources and space they need to take their careers and skills to the next level.
We're expanding because of the demand of our graduates in the industry. Right now we have a nearly 100% placement every year, and there's a demand for more. The marine industry is looking for our graduates that are skilled in boat building and also marine service technology.
The facility will be 10,000 square feet, which features 2 state-of-the-art workshops, an area for student activities, a classroom, and new equipment.
There's no typical student here at the Marine Trades Institute. We have students that come right out of high school. We have career changers. We also have some folks that are getting closer to retirement. They can go anywhere where there's water. We have graduates, a lot of them, the lion's share are here in the Great Lakes, but we also have graduates that have gone to Wisconsin, Texas, California. So basically, there's such a demand for our graduates, they can go anywhere where they want in North America, really.
The hope is to have construction done by September of 2026. The facility design also had a purpose.
So the project is mass timber, so sustainable product, species of native meaning the timbers itself are coming from Michigan, portions of it. Today, mass timber replaces steel. If you think of a pre-engineered metal building, we're going to use wood versus steel.
The expansion also plays into the school's economic role in the region.
The school is a big economic driver in this area. We had a study done recently, and it determined that the annual economic development or economic impact to this area is about $2.8 million a year, which is huge for this area. And once we ramp up, double our expansion, bring in more students, we can probably double that.
In Cedarville, Mary Jane Glenn, UpNorthLive News.
All right, now let's take a look at our question of the day, kind of related to Mary Jane's story that you just heard there. If you had a choice today, would you go to college or trade school? You can scan the QR code on your screen right now. That'll take you over to our website where you can vote. You can also head over to our Facebook page and leave a comment. And as always, at the end of the show, we will take a look at the results for the question of the day, and I will read a few of your comments. So make sure you stick around till the very end for all of that. We do have some state news to pass along tonight regarding the failed effort to bring semiconductor manufacturer SanDisk to Genesee County. Tonight we're hearing from the governor, Gretchen Whitmer, and Lieutenant Governor Garland Gilchrist about how the deal collapsed and what comes next. Courtney Bennett has all of that.
Governor Gretchen Whitmer believes delays on the federal level are the reason SanDisk has backed out. Both she and Lieutenant Governor Garland Gilchrist blame tariffs from the Trump administration as another reason the manufacturer decided not to follow through on this site.
What we see here is a clear outcome of when you have chaos, incompetence, and instability coming from the federal government. Companies choose not to invest in America.
From the government level and the people directly involved in bringing this advanced manufacturing facility to Genesee County, they're expressing disappointment in the deal ultimately falling apart.
I called the president yesterday. I spoke with him to share with him what this development was and how it was very disappointing.
This was supposed to be a major chip manufacturing facility. We saw during the pandemic the chip shortage caused a delay in manufacturing because most chips used in the United States come from overseas.
They didn't invest in America because they didn't want to put their faith in an unstable federal government. A president who's been all over the place, a Congress who doesn't stand for anything, a congressional majority doesn't stand for anything.
Governor Whitmer says when she spoke to President Trump by phone, he had this message for her.
He said, tell the press we are going to work together and get an even better deal for the state of Michigan.
The investment was supposed to be worth billions of dollars. It was expected to bring thousands of jobs to the area.
And the kinds of jobs that we can attract to this site are the kinds of jobs that can change lives. They can take working class people to be able to build a middle class and even beyond future for their family.
They aren't giving up on this site. Both Governor Gretchen Whitmer and Lieutenant Governor Gilchrist say they are confident another major manufacturing company can come in and make something happen. I'm Courtney Bennett reporting.
And let's bring in Courtney Bennett into the conversation to dive a little deeper into this story. Courtney, thank you so much for coming on Unscripted tonight.
Of course. Thank you, Maya, for having me.
Of course. Well, okay, so it sounds like this company is choosing not only to pull out of a deal because we're in Michigan. It's not necessarily about Michigan as it is about the entire country, right?
That's right. So we actually heard today from Governor Gretchen Whitmer and Lieutenant Governor Garland Gilchrist. Both of them blame the Trump administration and the tariffs on why this company decided not to invest right here in Genesee County. What's interesting is that, this has been coming to this area for a while. We've heard rumblings. We've never really had a name on who it was going to be. We always knew that it was an advanced manufacturing site. But yesterday we heard for the first time that it was that SanDisk, as I mentioned in the package, and that's the chip manufacturer. So it's interesting that a lot of the administration, like Lieutenant Governor Garland Gilchrist, Governor Whitmer, everyone who was involved in this deal, they obviously are really disappointed by this decision by the company to not bring their manufacturing here to Genesee County and to help the overall state.
And where did the plan stand today? Like, was any money actually put into the site to get it ready for this facility?
Yeah, the state actually invested last year roughly $259 million. So it was grant dollars that went to the Flint and Genesee group, to their foundation, and that helped prep the site. Lieutenant Governor Garland Gilchrist told us this morning that that went into installing, different water lines, electricity. So the site, for the most part, is all prepped and ready for something to be built on it. There is houses that have been torn down because people were offered money to sell their house and to, advance the site. I talked to one person yesterday and he was offered $500,000 to sell his home. He's aware that his neighbors were also offered that same deal. Some of them have decided to sell their home. He's holding out. He said he doesn't want to sell. His property actually backs up to where it'll be. So for the most part, the land is cleared. And Lieutenant Governor Garland Gilchrist said today that they are ready for either one manufacturing company or multiple manufacturing companies to come to this area.
Do they have any ideas on any specific company, or are they just hoping that since they do already have this land kind of ready to go, that someone will show some interest?
He did not say any company's name. He is hoping that someone will show interest. He was really pushing the fact that they did do all of this clearing and they have invested in the local area to make sure that it is cleared. They put a roundabout in the area as well. I know that there was talks of them expanding several of the roads over there because it's a big area to cover. It's very expansive. So that's all ready to go for the most part.
And we heard in your story that this project would have brought a lot of money into the local economy, a lot of jobs. Have you heard from anyone in the community about how they are reacting to the news?
What's interesting is, like I mentioned, the people who were directly involved, so the Flint and Genesee Group Alliance, they're obviously upset. They were the forefront of it. But what's interesting is when you talk to the people and the neighbors around the area, many of them have signs that say no mega sites. I talked to one guy yesterday and he actually was very happy with the news. He said that yesterday was like Christmas morning, hearing that this company had backed out. And I asked him, I said, this is supposed to bring a lot of jobs to the area. He told me that he's all for bringing jobs, but he believes that there wasn't enough transparency in this deal and they weren't given enough information on who this company was and what they were going to do. He also said that he had environmental concerns on how it'll impact the people who are still left in the area, on if, there would be issues with the water in the area as well. So he had a lot of questions and he said that he's all for the jobs, but doesn't necessarily want an advanced manufacturing site coming to his home.
Sure. So it sounds like some mixed reaction from the news of this company pulling out of the deal. Courtney, is there anything else that you heard from the governor or lieutenant governor about this that you want to mention?
Governor Gretchen Whitmer mentioned something. She said that time kills deals. So she believed that the Commerce Department from the federal level took way too much time to get this done. And that's another reason why this company decided to back out when they did. And like you mentioned, also the tariff aspect as well.
Sure. All right, Courtney, well, thank you so much for coming on Unscripted tonight and giving us a little more detail into what you heard from the governor and lieutenant governor, as well as some reaction from different community members. Of course, this is a story that we will continue to keep you updated on if another manufacturing plant does decide to come in and try to set up shop there. That probably won't happen right away, but we will keep you updated on any developments regarding this story. But right now, let's take a quick break. Joe is going to join us again in just a couple of minutes. He'll have much more on your Friday forecast and a look ahead to the weekend. Stay with us.
I'm Jada Johnson from Big Boys TV, and the Fish and Game Report is sponsored by Johnson's Propane.
It's going to be a bit of a cool evening tonight. So as Joe mentioned earlier, a good night to give the AC a break, open up a window. But
yeah.
What will it be like tomorrow, Joe?
A little warmer, first off. You know, we're not looking at 90, but it'll be in the 70s tomorrow. Okay. So that's pretty nice. And then we'll also have some sunshine once again. But yeah, a little bit of a cool night tonight, maybe a little bit of patchy fog. A lot of rain, though, for some spots yesterday. Here's a look at radar estimated rainfall. So the radar can estimate how much rain has fallen in some spots. And the bullseye was kind of right in through here. I know there were areas around Rogers City, for instance, that had almost 4 inches of rain. Back north of Manistee, around Cadillac. But the heaviest was right here in that little area there north of Grayling. Not far from I-75, we had almost 6 to 7 inches of rain there yesterday. What's interesting is that that's a lot of rain. But you come up here, hardly anything up in the UP. Emmett, Charlevoix counties didn't have a whole lot, and then downstate, not a ton either. So some areas had a lot more than others. And here is what was measured in the old rain gauges at Hartwick Pines State Park. That's in Crawford County. 5.36 inches of rain fell. That was all in about a 6-7 hour period last night. 1 mile north of Grayling, somebody there measured 4.4 inches. Close to 4 at Rogers City, and then you can see Lovels, Fife Lake, and Thompsonville rounding out the list. That area of low pressure that brought all the rain, there it is, way off to the east. That's heading off the east coast tonight. And we are looking at high pressure building in, which will help to erode the cloud cover. We did have some clouds for a while today. Here's our satellite and radar imagery. And much of the area now pretty clear. I know if you're in Big Rapids still, south of Clare, still kind of cloudy. You'll clear out here shortly, but the rest of the region is looking at clear skies, and that's going to hang around. Maya mentioned it was cool, and yeah, here it is. Here are the temperatures. We're in the 60s, and we've pretty much been there all day long. Beaver Island has reached 70, along with Grayling, but otherwise 60s today. It's one of our cooler days we've had in quite a while this afternoon. No rain tonight, and a nice day tomorrow. Dry weather. There's our Friday morning, Friday afternoon. And then here's the thing, though, if you have weekend plans. Yeah, that's some rain, which will roll in here during the day Saturday. It won't rain all day. We are expecting some showers and thunderstorms Saturday, but it won't last the entire weekend. So, you know what? We'll put the motorboat out there, moving along. Mid and upper 70s. Sunday is the better of the 2 days. Some sunshine. Sunday looks to be a pretty nice day looking ahead here. All right, the extended forecast. This is what it looks like. Saturday, some rain. You know, that scattered chance for a little bit of thunder, a little bit of lightning. Sunday's nice. And then next week, we do have some heat building. I don't know if I'd call this a heat wave. It won't be that. But we are looking at mid to upper 80s in some spots. And with that, increasing humidity. And that'll kick up the chance for at least some scattered summertime showers and thunderstorms Tuesday, Wednesday, perhaps into Thursday next week, Maya. So a cool night tonight. I know I personally like it, but a nice night, 40s in some spots tonight.
It is good sleeping weather.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, Joe, thanks so much. We are going to take another quick break, but don't go anywhere just yet. Sports is next. Stay with us. We are at the halfway point of the season for the Traverse City Pit Spitters, and our sports director Harrison Beebe caught up with the coach to get a little recap of the first half of the season. Right, Harrison?
Yeah, you know, kind of like the president and the governor will do the State of the Union and the State address. Wanted to get Todd Reed in his first year as field manager's kind of first half assessment of the season so far. Here's our conversation in this week's Jimmy John's Sports Corner.
The following segment is sponsored by Jimmy John's of Traverse City.
To know you had that first half division title after missing a year ago, it's got to feel pretty good, especially you being with the team the whole time, to ensure that this team is back in the postseason.
Yeah, no, it does feel good, even though that's not our number one goal. It's special to be able to capitalize on what Josh Rebant built, the organization, the relationships with some of the best college baseball programs in the country that continue to send their guys to us for the summer. And so to be able to do that, you know, it felt special. And it really doesn't feel any different now. Like the Northwoods League there's no easy nights. We talk about that all the time. There's no easy nights, easy weeks in the Northwoods League. And every team's going to go through a stretch where their hitters are struggling or they're low on arms. But yeah, it doesn't feel any different. It still feels good. But always our number one goal is to develop guys. And so that doesn't change whether we win a division or not.
What is that like now that you're head coach to, you know, we talked about it preseason, but then now mid-season here to continue shuffling the deck as you go?
Yeah, well, it's just part of it. You know, we know that from the beginning. And this is this time right here, we get to July. This is when a lot of either pitchers are getting shut down or you're in need of some guys because some guys get hurt. So July is always just really, really tough. Hopefully we get through the All-Star break and get some guys back and we'll have a little more stability to the roster going into the postseason.
4 guys in the All-Star game. It's got to feel pretty good after only having 1 a year ago.
Yeah, I mean, 4 is pretty cool. I mean, it's the fact that we're the biggest collegiate summer baseball league in the country, and you know, you've got 1 spot at each position for 13 teams, and so like you just have to have a really, really good first half to get that honor. And so for Pi and Sturgey and Jack and Logan, I mean, it's just a really, really big time accomplishment. Just so proud of all 4 of those guys.
And Maya, no better way to start the second half of the season. Starting tomorrow night, they play 8 straight at Turtle Creek Stadium, basically Friday to Friday for home games if you want to check them out in the next week.
Now's the time to do it, it sounds like. All right, Harrison, thank you so much for that state of the first half of the season address. Let's take a quick break. We will check out our question of the day and the live results coming up next.
Salon services are furnished by Epiphany Advanced Academy in East Acme.
Taking a look at our question of the day and the live results. If you had a choice today, would you go to college or trade school? 73% are saying trade school, 27% college. Over on Facebook, Sharon says, hindsight 2020, trade school. The need for service-related jobs was consistently high since I went to college. Cam says, tradesman here with a bad back, so he's saying college. And Alex says college, but for a degree that has a good chance of resulting in a job. You can join the conversation over on our Facebook page, but we are all out of time here on Unscripted. Thank you so much for joining us. We hope to see you back here at 11 o'clock tonight.